Anton, what's up, dude? Thanks for having
I
me
know,
on.
man. I remember watching you, 4 months ago when you got Domer on your stream. It was your first ever prediction market entry, right?
It was I listening to that guy for the first time is an euphoric experience.
Well, that was actually one of the things I wanted to talk about is because every time on your Twitch streams you're saying like, oh, who was my best guest ever? You always bring up Domer, no Glaze, but you're always like Domer's like number one guy I ever brought on, and that's interesting because I've known the guy for 4 years now, and he's just a normal guy.
Dude, you know why? Like I can give you a take on why is
Yeah.
I mean, look, I love to trade. I trade crypto a lot. I make more money trading than I do from content, but for as much as I love trading, I like more interviewing the traders and like bringing
Mm.
the people on, hearing the strategies, hearing their thought process, the way they go about things. And so in crypto, it's a little bit of the Wild West. So you get a lot of traders that make money in these like weird ways. They find these weird little niches and exploit them and like get, incredible with this one vertical. And everyone sort of has like a different strat. And so when I heard Doma for the first time and I heard how he approaches prediction markets and individual markets, it's like he has a different strat for every single market and he's trading
Yeah.
everyone at the same time. And so hearing him for the first time is sort of like as someone that's like passionate about trading and like hearing people trade is sort of like a euphoric, like not the glaze, it's kind of like a euphoric experience, right? And he's telling the story of how he figured out, I don't know, 2008, 2012, the vice president
Checking
candidate
the
was going to
flight
be
logs.
Sarah Palin. He was tracking the flight logs from Alaska. And it's just like so in tune with what a lot of the like Solana on-chain trenchers do, where it's like
Yeah.
the biggest edge is how quickly can you dissect information. And so there's 20 people in a Telegram chat, some new coin comes out. Okay, is it real? Is the founder docs? Do they have a website? Is it GitHub? There's no tech work, and they're like dissecting it in real time. And it's
Yeah.
sort of like a very similar approach on a different game. And so yeah, that's why I glazed Doma so hard, is because amongst other reasons.
Well, one of the interesting things about the differences or similarities between the crypto, you come from a crypto background, I don't at all. But one of the things I think you mentioned was that Domer is focusing on 2,800 markets in the Polymarket rewards program right now, and however many there are in Kalshi and the other ones. Whereas I don't know how many things are you focusing on at once when there's a crypto narrative going on? Like, is it just one coin at a time
So
moving on, or?
So I'll give you like some, I don't know, some lore on this. Like the way I approach things now it was October 31st, 2025, is I always joke that I have a streamer portfolio, which is
Mm.
like I have spot Bitcoin, I have cash, and then I have one or two super high conviction bags that have a lot of size in that I manage
Mm.
carefully over a long period of time. Right now for me, it's Zcash, totally per month, managing it for a month. I'm not really trading anything else. I'm aware, but it's really like precise, higher calculated bets. In 2024, especially when like in particular Solana meme coin, Solana on chain was so hot, it was a completely different game, and we were trading like low cap memes,
Yeah.
which I think could be kind of similar to like how prediction market traders would look at these like mention markets and like trading 10 things a day that expire the same day, which is like I'm trading 20, 25 coins a day. I'm in all of them at like smallest 50K, 20K, 100K market cap, like peanuts. And I'm in them. You click buy, you dissect, lock in, you do research. Is it real? Is it not? You figure out as much as you can learn. Then you're either out or you're in longer. And so there was like a whole year where I think a lot of people were doing this, but I definitely was, which is like I'm trading 25 coins a day. And
Yeah.
so the strategy evolves, but there's like a lot of parallels to how the prediction market traders I've talked to versus like the on-chain cohort in particular
Yeah.
trade, especially these lower market caps, because it's like purely an information versus information game. Like how quickly can you figure out if the tech is real? If you figure out the tech is real and it is real and no one else has figured it out yet, then you're slamming by while everyone else is flat, you know?
Yeah, I get that. And who do you think has it better off? The Solana trenchers trying to get into prediction markets, or the prediction market guys trying to enter the trenches?
It's actually a good question. I think, um, I think one of the like I talked to you a little, we talked a little bit yesterday, and I think, and even talking to Easy, like a lot of the prediction market traders he was shouting out sort of are taking these higher conviction, slower time frame plays. And
Yeah.
I think in crypto, one of like something that happened in crypto that I think kind of broke a lot of traders was unironically the Solana trenches, which was like volume was so ridiculously hot October, November, December 2024 up until Trump launched in January 17th,
Yeah.
2025. Is that you were like programmed to click buttons all day, every day. You're programmed to click, 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 click.
Yeah.
Next coin, next coin, next coin, next coin, next coin. And then when you get into these lower volume, higher time frame markets like we're in right now, if you're programmed to click, 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 it can kind of fuck you up
Yeah.
because you overtrade, you get out of good spots, you don't hold, and then if everything's going down, you're just like in the wrong coins. But I think there's gonna be a pretty tight crossover. I think the crypto people can do very well in prediction markets because they're really good at dissecting information quickly and making
Yeah.
decisions. But then I think the prediction market traders don't realize they could fucking run shit. Like I talked to Doma and I'm like, bro, you could be absolutely cooking in crypto because it's all like narrative, sentiment, dissecting information. And so I think there's gonna be like a pretty heavy crossover on both because the pipeline is pretty tight.
Yeah. No, that's interesting because I'm thinking of what my timeline of trading style has evolved, and I think it's kind of similar. Where last year, 1 year ago today, I'd be 18 hours a day trading, market making, like 1,400 markets on Polymarket. Whereas after Trump, after March, April, May, I would I wasn't doing that stuff anymore. Not market making. It's that low frequency, high conviction stuff now. Wherever you can find liquidity, right? And I think that's probably the same on crypto as well. All right.
Yeah, I think it's sort of just like adjusting to the market conditions a little bit. Crypto's in kind of
Mhm.
a weird place where on chain specifically is pretty dead. Like there's spot. It's basically like you hold the best coin,
Yeah.
which right now is Zcash. Before that was Pump. Before it was I don't know cards, a couple other things. You basically
Asta for a
hold
day.
Aster for
XPL.
Aster for a couple days, Hyperliquid, XPL for like 5 hours. You basically hold. You're basically in that coin, or you're just like
Yeah.
you're miserable right now. And so I think there's actually this I don't know, migration that's happening where a lot of the crypto people that were just printing in 2024 are no longer doing it, and they're trying to figure out like a new game to play, where to go, what to focus. If I was trading meme coins, do I go to perps? If I was trading perps, do I look at prediction market? Like people are actually trying to migrate and find different games to play because on chain just like isn't what it was. I think that's I'm a believer that I'm a giga crypto bull, so I'm a believer that these things are cycles and will come back. But it's definitely a watered down version of itself, and people are sort of trying to figure out what do I do all day instead of what I was.
Yeah. No, I honestly, I always thought crypto was completely different from my space, but from the prediction market space. But now I'm thinking like, yeah, it was Romania election in May, then moving on to US attack Iran, and then all the money moves to New York primary, where Mamdani won. And then now it's the government shutdown, or now it's the New York election. Everything moves in sequence, and there's always something going on. That's actually interesting. The same
And
same
crypto
kind
is
of
very
style.
similar, where it's like, okay, it's like AI season, we're trading AI coins. Then it's like Plasma comes out, everyone's excited about like neobanks, and then like
Yeah.
Zcash runs, and it's like privacy coins, and then you're like, okay, what privacy coins matter? What one's real? What one's fake? Which one's going to catch the flows? Which one's going to hold the narrative? Like it's very similar with these things, like sort of trade and metas. Whereas prediction markets, you sort of follow the volume, which could be labeled as a similar like meta, if you will.
Mhm. So in terms of this prediction market meta, you now signed on with Polymarket, right? I think that's last week. You guys, or 2 weeks ago, you guys
Yeah, I
signed
think like
on.
two
So
Mondays ago. Yeah, like
how'd that partnership come? Who do we thank for that?
well, I mean, Polymarket team is incredible. Actually, fun lore is I want to say July, like summer 2024 was a really weird time in crypto because Pump Fund launches, I want to say like January or February 2024. It doesn't take off right away, but we get this like mini run of meme coins. People that were like around back then in crypto. Remember like Whiff Run was crazy, but like there was Billy and there was Shark Cat and a bunch of these like Michi, a bunch of these early pump or pump adjacent memes. And then into the summer was so dead. Like it was like celebrity meme coins, and then everyone in crypto was just like, fuck this, I'm bored. So summer was really dead, and so me and all my friends had this crazy, just like we're addicted to poker, and so we're playing poker all day, every day. Poker, 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 poker. And Polymarket is like a big, at least they were. I think they still are like a big poker sponsor. Like they would sponsor Hustlers Casino Live. If anyone plays poker, you know what that is.
Yeah.
Like they would sponsor the World Series. They would sponsor all this. And so I went to Hugo Martingale, who's like I've known
Yeah.
forever now. And I was like, yo, like we're doing we're playing poker at the house all day. We like live in LA, so there's a bunch of cool people here at the house all the time playing. They're playing some big money. Like you should sponsor us to do a poker stream. And he was like, fuck it, okay. And so they sponsored us to do a poker stream. And so we got a bunch of cool people, got the table, the FRID chips, and we ran a Polymarket poker stream, which you could bet on. I lost a
I
lot
think
of
I remember. I think I
yeah.
remember that.
I lost
Biggest
a lot.
Loser, Biggest
Yeah,
Winner
yeah, I
we
lost a
had.
lot of money on that game and the market. Um, but that happened. It was actually my first stream ever. And so I did the stream. There was like 1,000 people live on Twitch. And so after I got off, I was like, fuck, maybe I should just keep streaming. And it just so happened, like right when we finished the Polymarket stream, in the poker stream, AI is like October or like pretty close to September, October. Then boom, AI season kicks off in crypto. Everyone's excited about on chain. And so I
Yeah.
started streaming again. So I can almost like thank Polymarket for like reinvigorating the stream and bringing my content back. But the one thing I'll say, I won't rant too long on this, is like my kind of view with my stream and then the company that I run, which is Counterparty, is we're a crypto company, we're a finance company, but I really think of us as like an internet money, entertainment finance. And I think
Yeah.
the same way we started this conversation talking about crypto and prediction market parallels, like I sort of see everything being one and the same. Like TradFi is crypto, is prediction markets, is CSGO skins, is Roblox servers, is like every niche on the internet just
Yeah.
hyper accelerating from here.
Yeah.
And so I always tell my audience, like, the only reason you watch a Thread Guy stream is partly for entertainment, maybe 20% for entertainment, but it's really to get smarter and to make money.
Yeah.
And so
Who would your audience be? I know yesterday when we were talking, you're like the median audience member is like miles better than the random Twitch.
the line I always use is like one Thread Guy viewer is 100 Kaizenat viewers. And I mean, bro, I think you could use the same, like, okay, there's 125 people listening to the space, but if you scroll the audience, it's like, how many poly market badges
Yeah.
traders do you see? I see like CSP, a lot of these guys. It's like, okay, how much money do they have in their poly market account? And like, what is it? I always joke about the chat GDP, like the cumulative net worth
Yeah.
of my Twitch chat. And at 200 people, it's like shockingly high without actually
Yeah.
knowing what the number is. And so I've always like focused my stream on like, okay, I probably have, I don't know, 200, 250, whatever live on Twitch, a few more on Twitter. I could pull up like meme scope and trade me gambling on low cap meme coins and I could have more, probably have more viewers, double, triple. But I really want to focus what we're doing on like the pro tail. Like, how does someone that has like 7 figures, 6, 7 figures, 8 figures, whatever, watch the stream and feel like they get value out of it? And so
Mhm.
when you look at it from that angle, it's like, yeah, obviously there's very tight prediction market parallels. Obviously, this thing is going to be massive. Obviously, there's going to be edge and opportunity to make money on it. It's like a disservice if we don't lock in, bring on the best traders, figure out how to find edge and how to make money on this thing. And so I think it was pretty easy decision. And I don't really work with a lot of partners. The only other partner I work with is Phantom Wallet, which if you're at all familiar with crypto, you know Phantom Wallet, they're the best.
Yeah.
And so that's sort of how we focus everything now is from the lens of like the pro tail, best partners, like best markets, best viewers, everything like this.
Yeah, I see that. I think one problem, and one of the tweets I saw the other day from Outpace was him talking about how this new prediction market meta has turned leaderboard sharps and sharp people into trying to farm a little bit of engagement without actually giving away any insightful things, right? Because the liquidity on prediction markets, other than the first 20 markets, is a bit tough to really get a lot of um, shares and build a position in. So we see now just leveraging this leaderboard clout to make slop tweets and just farm engagement. And I'm curious to think, is is there a place where the sharpest traders can really give good information to viewers and actionable things, or is it just going to be this engagement garbage that's going on, you know?
I mean, look, like, I mean, I'll just look at everything sort of through the lens of crypto, which I'm the most familiar with, which is like there's sort of a similar spot that happens in crypto where if I like, okay, say I found some coin that's like sub $1 million market cap, which
Mhm.
you could parallel would be some, super liquid market with a couple $100,000 in volume that you're really excited about. If I go on Twitter and start tweeting about it, I'm gonna fucking spike the price, fuck the market up. There's gonna be this giant wick. People are gonna be selling into it. Like it kind of makes everything messy. And so there are bounds to what you can and can't talk about publicly if you have like a lot of motion. Like I don't know if Doma comes out and talks about some fresh market, the most popular boy name 2025, that's like an hour old and has no volume, takes a massive position, it'll probably fuck the market up.
Yep.
So there are sort of I don't want to say like restrictions, but there's sort of like there's sort of like bounds to what you can and can't talk about
Yeah.
relative to like how much influence you have. But I also think in crypto, like one thing I've learned, because at this point I've interviewed hundreds and hundreds of traders, is rather than figuring out like why they made money on coin A or coin B or coin C, it's a little bit more of like the process and like how they it's more like
Yep.
mental frameworks, like how they think about these things, how they approach them. Like that's what I always got was so interesting from Doma. I'm like less interested in how you made money on the Taylor Swift market and more interested in like why you made money on it, like
Yep.
how you approach it, how you look at it. And so I think that is repeatable and shareable and scalable. And I mean, bro, it's just there's just like a in 2025, there's just like a thing where there's a reason people use public wallets connected to their Twitter account and they post it. Like people want clout, you know what I mean? And so whenever there's social upside for like signaling and being profitable, people will continue to post about it. And one other thing I'll say on my like long monologue, which I'm actually the most excited about right now, is that I'm way more on the outside looking in than you are, at least right now. But there's like prediction market Twitter is forming and is lit and has its own little like dramas and beefs and characters and like clans and alliances. And it's forming in real time. And it's like really similar to early 2021 crypto Twitter, probably even earlier. I wasn't around earlier, but I remember when I was a sneaker reseller. It's very similar like sneaker Twitter. It's like very early and it's like forming and it's like healthy to see all these like characters that you recognize and that are excited to post, are excited
Mhm.
to add lore and have like just little like back and forths because it's kind of like a sign of like explosion. Like it's like building the foundation of explosion. Like prediction market Twitter is like fucking I mean, I don't know. Do you have a take on this? It's like I feel like it's thriving right now. It's all in my
Prediction market
timeline.
Twitter, yeah,
I see these
prediction
guys
market Twitter is
everywhere.
good.
Car and Doma. I see CSP in the audience. I see these guys everywhere on my feed, going back and forth. There's beefs. Like it's kind of lit.
It is good. I think it's healthy for engagement and getting people into the space. I'm always like devil's advocate trying to find something wrong with it. And the only thing I can think of is that um the quality of posts. There might be one really good post mixed in with a bunch of slop. And I'm someone who wants to see quality, you know. I don't want to just see these referral links and slop getting tossed around.
We know a
But I
take on
think,
this.
yeah, go ahead.
A take on it. Also, just you could tell me if I'm rambling a little bit, but I've never like I'll never come and like pretend and pride myself on being like, oh, I'm the best trader. I think I'm a good trader. I don't think I'm the best trader. I'll never come and like try to pride myself on being like the smartest. I think I'm smart, but I'm definitely not the smartest, especially in this game. But I think the one thing I'm really good at, and I think one like Twitter skill that just transcends whatever market you're in, is being able to identify the best traders, being able to identify the smartest. And so that's like half the game, right? It's
Yeah.
like there's all these. I mean, bro, if you scrolled like made a new Twitter, you liked a couple tweets about Bitcoin, and you scroll like a fresh FYP
Yeah.
on Twitter, the biggest account, like the most viral posts are the slop. It's like like someone posts a chart of Bitcoin with an arrow going down to 75K. My normie friend sending it to me, it has like 5K likes. He's like, is this real? Is this gonna happen? The slop is what goes like the most viral. And so it's like your ability to identify the 5K account that's getting like 10 likes, but
Yeah.
is actually cooking markets, actually has something to share, and actually has edge is what transcends. And I think because there's always an increase, like the noise to signal ratio is always way weighted heavier on the noise.
Yeah.
So the ability to identify signal is repeatable. It's actually a skill, and I think there's edge in that as well.
Yeah, it's a long game, right? Like even if it's engagement farming right now, eventually the winners will be the domers of the world who give quality recaps and stuff, right? I think that's what I notice and what I hope for.
I mean, I think eventually, like people are people want to make money, right? And
Yeah.
so the people will sort of be trained to continue to follow the things that are making them money, the people that are making the money, the ideas, the types of content that's making them money. One thing I will say though is if we're drawing parallels to crypto Twitter, is that while people want to make money, it's probably 70 or 80%. There's another group here, and one thing you probably experienced as well that it's sort of like social, it's like social hour as well, crypto Twitter. Like it's very social, right? It's social
Yeah.
hour. You have friends, there's like clans and alliances and like very social. And so there's a lot of people that are, I mean, I'll say this from me, like 2021, craziest market I've ever experienced. NFT bull run, Bored Apes go from $100 mint to $500,000 floor in 6 months. Like it's just stuff you in your wildest dreams you could never imagine happening. And the whole time I could have been making money, I was just tweeting because I'm like, man, I want to get a big account, I want to get reach. I was just like tweeting instead of trading, and I honestly don't regret it at all. And so I think there's always an element of social hour and people get entertainment from this app. And so it will like magnify the slop in the BS sometimes. But again, I think it just comes down to sort of like solving the noise to signal ratio. It's like a skill. If you can do it, you're just gonna have like edge information always.
Yeah. Um and another thing that I heard from you last week, I think, was you were telling your viewers about being a KOL and how much money there is really in that uh social space. And you were saying, there really isn't as much money being a KOL as people think. How I think you were talking about the biggest thing was trade flow, order flow was the best perk of being a KOL in CT. Do you think that I did I get that right?
Okay, so here's the take: is that I think there's this idea people have in their minds that if you have 50,000, 100,000, whatever metric of engagement on your Twitter account, you just like get paid. Like I think everyone influencer wise is whatever you think they're getting paid for brand deals and sponsorships and things like this, you probably should like cut it in half, maybe more. Cut it in half, maybe more on your mental model. And then also understand that there's like really a tight upper bound to how much you can make, right? Because if you're like just taking every promo deal in the world, they don't hit as hard. Like people who aren't interested, they don't really take what you say seriously. And so the real upside of having a large account and I don't know, motion on Twitter, if you will, is not direct pay incentives. It's really like information flow. It's like
Yeah.
if you are someone that has a lot of respect for like the prediction market community, it's like very easy or easier for you to talk to the guys like Doma or the guys like Car, whoever, and your like quality of engagement and interaction and like ability to learn new stuff and get I don't know alpha, if you
Mhm.
will, is significantly higher.
Yeah.
And so that to me is what I think. Like, there's a reason people post, and some people are posting to get like a brand deal, but I think most people are posting so they could get mutual follows with better people, people they
Smart
admire,
people.
people they think
Yeah.
are smarter. And
Yeah.
so I think if you look at it from that lens, why you're posting becomes much more direct, where it's like, yes, you could go slopify your account. And I mean, there's no point like calling it out. Slopify your account, post bullshit. That gets a lot of a lot of numbers. But like,
Yeah.
bro, you're not making it from the Elon check. Like you're not. Like
Yeah.
you might get like it's nice, but you're not making it from the Elon check. So it's less about like how can I get 100,000 views on a post, and it's more about like how can I get like Phantom to like my tweet, because it's then you go straight to signal. How do I get Phantom to like my tweet? I think it's a much better metric than like, is this gonna get 100K likes or whatever?
Yeah. But again, if you were to think about how to use your powers for bad, it's about moving the markets, right? If Ansem can move a meme coin, or if you can move a meme coin, a low cap meme coin by streaming it, can Domer move the markets by posting a market, even though a prediction market is supposed to be about a real world event that's either happening or isn't? Can he move the market 10, 20 cents just just posting about it. Doesn't seem like he should be able to, but maybe he can.
Well, take on this, and kind of maybe ties into the Brian Armstrong stuff, which we talked about a minute, is like generally the people that can or do use it for bad can't use it for bad for very long.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if this is the thing in crypto, it's like, okay, if you're in the group chat and we're trading meme coins and you scan some dog shit at 100K that you have 5% of and everybody buys it, it goes up 5x, and then you like sell on the group chat, just got exit liquidity from the chat. It's like you can only do that like a couple times, and it's like, all right, like cool, we're not buying your shit, and you're out of the chat, and someone's making a tweet. So
Yeah.
generally the people that have the ability to do it, you can't like it doesn't really scale. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I hope you're right. I'm thinking of some Polymarket people that make profits in every market, pumping and dumping in the comments. And then the next time there's a big market coming around, you look at that account and you're like, wow, that guy made this much on this market. He's doing really well. He's really profitable. Let me tail him again. And you just have a constant inflow of people getting burned, because you don't see
I think
what
that
happened
the
in the
par the,
past.
the parallel here is probably the copy trader dilemma of crypto
Hmm.
Twitter,
Yeah.
where I don't know how familiar you are with this, but like there's okay, so like there's a bunch of accounts that have really popular wallets similar to prediction markets, right? And so not everybody, but the fish have copy bot um like copy trader bots turned on. And so like if like Pupsy popular trader buys like one soul of coin, then I automatically buy one soul of a coin as well. So they call it like the copy trader candle, where like popular wallet buys a coin at 100K. It doesn't move on their buy, but because of their buy, the people that follow in after it maybe like pumps it 50%, pumps it 2x.
Yep.
The thing about the copy traders, this is like a huge ethical dilemma on crypto Twitter. Often and frequently, people like crash out about it and get very upset. The thing about the copy trader is that there's only so much money that can be lost amongst the copy traders till they no longer like just it's like a math equation, right? At a certain point, if they're just getting rinsed repeatedly, there's a finite amount of money goes away, there's no more copy traders. And so people always come on and say like, oh, Cupsy or oh Frank or oh whoever only makes money from copy traders. But the reality situation is they wouldn't have copy traders if they weren't making money. And so I think it comes down to like on a long enough time frame, if you stretch it out, it just comes down to like a math equation, which is like if they're making money, if enough people are making money, copy trading, shenanigans or whatever, they will keep doing it and they'll do it increase. If they stop making money on a long enough time frame stretched out, there's no more money to copy trade, and there's no more fish, there's no more money to copy trade until they will stop. It won't affect and impact the way that it does. So I think it's sort of like on a long enough time frame, scaled, it sort of just like comes down to a math equation, I think.
Yeah. That's interesting. Other effects of prediction markets getting big is, I think yesterday, the Coinbase earnings call where Brian Armstrong just threw off a couple of words that were in the poly market. He's like, I'm just going to say these words now
Crazy.
for the prediction market. That's got to hurt mention markets, or does it help it?
I mean, what do you
Planning
think?
on writing.
Did you
I'm
trade
planning
it?
on writing something about it.
Give me your take. I want to hear your take more than I want to say mine.
I am not a fan of insiders, and I would call this some indirectly an insider kind of game where it hurts liquidity in the long run. You cannot predict on a level playing field the odds of this event happening if your counterparty has the ability to influence the outcome. So I wouldn't be able to market make Coinbase's earning calls anymore, knowing Brian Armstrong knows and likes Polymarket and watches it every day. I can't do that, right? Does that make sense?
It does make sense. Did you trade it?
I didn't trade the earnings market. I think it had less than 10K in total volume across all the brackets. So I don't think he helped many people.
Okay.
But the micro strategy market from a couple months ago, where the week before the earnings call, uh, MicroStrategy usually doesn't announce a Bitcoin purchase. And that Monday, they didn't announce a Bitcoin purchase, but their earnings call was Wednesday or Tuesday or Wednesday. And in that earnings call, they announced a new one, completely unexpected.
Uh-huh.
I was on no there because I had done a chat deep research and it told me no, probably 20% odds. And I'm like, okay, well, it's at 80 right now, so I might as well buy no at 20. And I lost there. And I'm pretty sure that that's because the other side was was filled with insiders pushing the market up.
Mhm.
And that's what we settled on. Same with Nobel Peace Prize, where the
That
night
one was crazy.
before, right? Like those are crazy things that once that happens, you are a little bit scared to market make those markets from now on, even enter the markets.
Okay, I kind of have like two takes on the Brian Armstrong thing. The first is that I was having a conversation with a crypto person today about it, and I was trying to get their take. They had an interesting perspective, which is that mentioned markets are probably the most similar to. I keep using crypto analogies, but it's the easiest way to make sense of it. They're most similar to like low cap meme coins, where you could buy some coin, 100K, whatever, super cheap, and you could be like, this thing sucks, tech is fake, it's not real, and you sell it, and then CZ like replies to it, boom, handled to 4 mil, and you're like, bro, what the fuck? Like this coin sucks, this is garbage. Or like, boom, Totally from Solana replies to it, boom, but 5 mil candle instantly, and you're like, bro, like what? This is the worst coin ever. I just lost. I didn't like lose hella money, but I lost tons of UPNO. This is bullshit. Fuck this, and you get frustrated. And I think that there's just like a huge level of RNG. Like, I mean, if you're trading the mention market already, there's a huge level of RNG in this that you just like some things like happen out of your control. Reporter asks a question because they saw the market, things like this, that I think is like a reasonable parallel. The other thing from more of a philosophical level, and tell me if you see this as well, is that there's obviously the take that real world outcomes affects pricing on the prediction markets. There's the contrary opposite of that, which is like pricing on prediction markets affects real world outcomes. I think that was
Yep.
a little bit of like the Bill Ackman Zoran sort of take. People are manipulating
Yeah.
this, and then because it's manipulated, they see it, and then they go play it out in real time. I'm not exactly sure this is the best example of it, but I'm more so alluding to Brian Armstrong is on an earnings call with every quarter, how often every quarter, whatever. It's like his like most important call within that time period, like the most important call, and he's fucking looking at Polymarket odds during the call. I think
It
about
is cool.
Sam Altman on TBPN, and same thing. He's in this like really important interview. He doesn't do a lot of interviews, and he's like talking about how he's
Yeah.
looking at the Polymarket odds. And so
Yeah.
I don't think this is the best example of it because not to say the market didn't matter because people bet on it. More so like the outcome, i.e., him saying a couple words, doesn't really have like catastrophic real world effects. But I think it's like the foundation is being set for, yeah, this is actually true that the odds on these markets are going to impact real world outcomes. And I think this like sets the stage for that a little bit, which is like kind of dystopian and eerie, kind of fucking cool and
Yeah.
lit. I don't know. Do you have a take on that second part?
I think I wonder how it's going to develop. I think Brian Armstrong's mouthing off the words is firing off the mentions hurts prediction markets, but I think Bill Ackman complaining about the odds and saying, "Hey, you can Eric Adams, you can bet on yourselves to drop out," is not the worst because there are financial incentives for everything. I remember arguing the other day that prediction market manipulation is bad, but then someone said, "Well, it's the same as someone buying millions of dollars of campaign ads and trying to influence an outcome that way, right?" If you have Zoran at 95% plastered all across New York City, I know you were there a couple days ago. You might have seen the Kalshi ads about that. Um, People, the young people, lazy college kids might be turned off from going to vote. They're like, "Oh, my guy's at 95%, I don't need to go vote." That's one way that this stuff could be manipulated. But I don't know what the real direct order effects are.
Yeah, I actually did see some of the Zoran stuff. I'm not entirely sure what you know, it probably hurts mention market volume a little bit because people are like, fuck this, I don't want to trade this. I mean, I kind of okay. I don't have the best take on this because I don't really trade them. So I'm not like I know easy trade every single mention market. I
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of think if you're trading them in the first place, it's sort of like you just want to click. You know what I mean? You want to click. You're probably not betting huge money on these things, and so I don't know. If you're very profitable, it's probably not your most profitable strategy. I know there's a couple people that just like dominate these markets. In a way, I sort of think it kind of makes a mockery of it, but it also sort of validates it. Which like again, it's just like it's crazy to me that his most important call of the quarter, like broadcasted in front of tons of millions of people, he's like looking at poly market odds. And so I
Yeah.
think while it does sort of I don't think that's a word, illegitify the
Legitimize maybe.
yeah, yeah, whatever. But the opposite of legitimize the people trading the mention markets. I think it does legitimize poly markets proliferation into
Yeah.
culture amongst the most important circles. And like, yeah, seeing Bill Ackman post about it was crazy too, because it's like, okay, you think this is wrong and you think it's manipulated, then fuck it, bet on it. Like take the other
Yeah.
side, right? It's like, okay, the odds are wrong. They're in your favor. If you know that this is true, then you have extra edge than what the market already says. Bet, take the other side. And that to me is what's fucking lit about Polymarket. It's like, okay, take the fucking other side, bro. Also, that comment was hilarious. Bill Ackman, if you've seen this, you a bitch. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The Polymarket comment, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna shift to two other things I want to talk about. I also wanted to see if anyone wanted to ask you some questions. We've only got a few minutes left. But I did want to talk about the elephant in the room. The reason why the prediction market meta started is this airdrop, looming airdrop. And I know coming from this crypto space, maybe you have some insight on how it might go. Like, how much should I be expecting as a 4-year user who's done hundreds of millions in volume?
I mean,
Am I set
okay.
for life? Am I making generational wealth?
I'm sure I don't have like data in front of me. I kind of feel like this was kicking off and really coming into play prior to there being any token speculation, but it's obviously how severe, like how intense is the data on Spike?
Um, I the back in May when this I think Series C round went up, Polymarket volume spiked a lot. I think there was some tweet last week that was 50,000 wallets on Polymarket have done over 50K in volume, which the person on the tweet was like, "That's incredibly low. This is an amazing opportunity to farm an airdrop." Is that true? I don't know. Maybe you have some insight in that, but um, I think 1.5 million proxy wallets created. Only like 40 of them or 30% of them have ever made a trade. But there's a lot of data about this stuff.
Okay, here's my honest take on the airdrop stuff is that I mean, I'd love to tell you that first of all, I don't know anything. So before anyone like tries to don't fucking clip me, I don't know anything. I would love to tell you you're gonna get like $1 million. I know Dylan made a post about this. All his friends are like, "Don't make you be so rich." Da, da, da. I think the best way to approach this is if you're not explicitly airdrop farming, just don't think about it. Because I mean, dude, I think airdrops have have just become pretty disappointing in 2025. I just like have. There was a time in 2021 where there was a couple like ENS was a crazy one. All the people that were like a .eth, like a name, like a DNS naming service for your wallet, and it was really popular. Nobody knew they were doing an airdrop. Nobody was farming it, and then one day they just like announced ENS token, and if you had registered an ENS to your wallet as like its primary domain address, you got like 25K for one. Like it was like kind of crazy. Um, and I mean, there was thousands and thousands and thousands of wallets like me that had like 20 ENS domains and didn't have one registered. And so nobody knew, nobody really like there was like hella asymmetry because it wasn't like, okay, cool. Points season farming starts right now. I think the best example of airdrop gone well recently was Hyperliquid, which had asymmetry for a lot of reasons. One, I just don't. It was like it farmed in a weird time of the market. There wasn't that many people trading perps when it happened, and then when they did do the airdrop, it's like, oh yeah, cool. Polymark or Hyperliquid is actually like the greatest team of all time. They have infinite money. They didn't raise any VC. There's no sell pressure, and they make $1 million a day, and they're gonna spend 99% of that buying back the token every single day. So those are the two like spotlight examples in my eyes. And so as it comes to like a farming strategy, I think if you've already been trading, you just like don't change anything and do exactly what you're doing. And then if you're coming here specifically for the airdrop, it's like honestly, I don't even have a take because every time I've ever done it, I think Blast is the famous example in crypto where I spent a lot of money specifically for the sole purpose of airdrop farming, and everybody else was there for too. No one used the apps. No one cared about the chain. No one cared about the platform. Everybody was just here for fucking Blast Gold, and it misses expectations by like 90%. So honestly, I don't have a great take on it. I'm curious if you do and how you are playing it.
Yeah, coming from no airdrop. This will probably be my first ever airdrop, I think, if once it happens. So I have honestly nothing. That's why I was like, maybe coming from your background, we have something. I do want to bring a couple people on who've requested to speak. Maybe we get some good questions. Is that all
Yeah,
right?
sure,
Can
bro.
we go a
I
couple
can stay
minutes
over a few
extra?
minutes. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So let's start with oh, CSP just left. Is he on? Did he just join? Okay, CSP, go ahead.
Interesting hearing like the Coinbase stuff. Like I remember I was actually betting on you thread guy when there's market about will you interview Trump? Then you tweeted something about the market, and I was like, oh man, this is not gonna go well for me when someone who's aware of this market can influence the outcome. So I mean, yeah, definitely I'm not happy when that happens. Like it's I mean, no, it just whether you're happy about something or not doesn't change if it should or shouldn't happen. But it can be scary trading in markets like that. And I agree with Phantom that it hurts liquidity and those things when people are aware of it. And yeah, I for a while I was just like your number one hater on Twitter because you tweeted something about that market and I ended up losing money on it. It's
Wait, I'm down to talk about. I'm down to talk about that. The Trump thing. What happened is I've actually had a lot of people. I wasn't even like aware of this. I've had a lot of people sort of message me that they like hate me because of this market. Um, what happened? So okay, so this is what happened. The Trump thing is Trump launches an NFT collection called Trump Cards. He launched one in 2024, I think, something like this. Like 2023, Trump Cards 1, maybe 2022, and then there was Trump Cards 2 launches in 2024. And there's like a bunch of tiers. Like if you buy like one card, you get nothing. 10 cards, you get like a T-shirt. 25 cards, you get a pair of shoes. And then the most expensive package was 25K. And if you spend 25K, you get to go to like Mar-a-Lago or whatever in Florida, official exclusive Trump cards only dinner. And so I'm like, fuck it. I'm just gonna do it. I think it was October. I think it was like, I don't know, September 2024, something like this. And so I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do it. And so I bought the cards, and it was this whole like sort of like spectacle event on crypto Twitter because it was like super public because I bought it and then my like wallet didn't register and I never got an email. And then there's something happened with them sending my cards. So it was getting like millions and millions and millions of views. And so it was very public that I was going to do this and that there would be like a meet and greet at some point. And so I don't know exactly how the market went up. I think it was something with Hugo, but whatever. They put the market up like Will Thread interviewed Trump, i.e., will he ask him one question? And then the market was like super viral. And so I didn't trade it. I didn't bet on it. And I honestly didn't know what the setup was going to be. And so, but what happened, like when I go to the event, I'm the only person there that spent any money to go. Everybody else went for free for for their company. I'm the only person that actually bought the cards. And then it's sort of a very like clicky sort of like donor Trump dinner. And I'm just like there with like my blonde hair and a suit on. And so the market was up and I was posting it because I was like showing people like, yo, I know this is like super exclusive. I know you can't really get close to Trump, but like this market is up and like there's all this money bet on like whether or not I'll ask Trump a question. Like, can you help me? And so it became this thing at the event, and this is really my first experience like with Polymarket outside of the poker stream on like, can we get the right guy to like ask him a question? And so people were like kind of pushing me to the front. It was like this whole like thing everybody was in on. And then I talked to him for a couple minutes, asked him a question, shook his hand, and then there was like a live Q&A at the end. Obviously, he wasn't aware of this. There was a live Q&A at the end. I raised my hand, was jumping up and down, like kind of being a little obnoxious. He called on me. I asked like a crypto question that still to this day I'm getting tagged in. I think he said like, we'll pay off the debt and America's debt in XRP or I don't know. He said something kind of ridiculous. And yeah, the market closed. So I was posting about it. I never traded it. I sort of was using it as just like a conversation opener and like a chance to talk to him. I just wanted the clip. Like I just wanted to shake his hand, get the clip, post on Twitter, post a YouTube video, post a vlog that I went to Florida and got the quote unquote question/interview. So yeah, title on it is like probably misleading. Fine print is like I guess that was my first experience with the fine print, but yeah, I mean,
One question. That's all you
I'm
need.
sorry you lost money on it. Like I didn't
So
trade
all
it.
good.
I wasn't your counterparty. Like I wasn't your counterparty. I've had some like messages from people still that are like, dude, like I'll never forgive you for this. As if I
It's probably
yeah,
CSP
so
himself.
that is the story on what happened with the Trump thing.
That's interesting here from the other perspective. Behind the scenes, I guess. But I mean, on the other hand, though, that's also like what's great about Polymarket is like you can see all your counterparties. So on the blockchain, like if someone was making a new wallet, like I don't know, Coinbase CEO.eth and was buying all these shares, you'd probably be suspicious if they started trading. Like a market like Kalshi, though, you probably have no warning that your counterparties are amassing huge amount of shares. It's like one guy. I'm a big fan of Polymarket's set up for that reason, being on the blockchain, seeing your counterparties, seeing who's trading. It's a pretty an okay tool, I guess, against like insider trading and rigging because there's more transparency involved.
Yeah, it's similar to crypto. Like you could see, like if you're just getting like 5% of the supply getting dumped on your head after you bought, you can at least have a reasonable chance of figuring out who it is. I also think the Trump thing on the parallel of the Brian Armstrong conversation we had is like a little bit of it's kind of like another example of prediction market odds influencing real world outcomes rather than vice versa, which is like, I don't know like how I would have played the event if the market didn't exist. And it sort of like created this conversation, like commotion around it, which is, yeah, I don't know. Just like an interesting to talk about that and then to see what happened with Coinbase. Also, Phantom, I've like, I don't know, 5 minutes and I have to join.
All
stand up.
right. Sounds good. We can get one more person, and then I have one final question for you. We can pick one more. Thank you, CSP. Let's go. I don't know. I'll just approve some people. But this is great. Thank you, Dread Guy, so much for this.
Yeah, thanks for having me,
Been
dude.
good.
Of course.
If no one comes, okay, we got Lucas here. Go ahead, man.
Amazing. GM, by the way, thank you for everybody talking about prediction markets. It's definitely it's one of the rappers that is going to eat absolutely everything for sure. But it's a question to mostly the thread guy. I see that more and more prediction markets are going to be used for live streamers, right? And being able to better engage audiences and stuff like that. I do believe, however, the current format is still not quite what would best fit, most of the influencers out there, whether it's, from YouTube or any other platform. Do you have any thought on kind of the ideal shape or packaging, right, that these prediction markets could have, or how you would like them to be embedded directly within whatever platform you may use, right? Or are you happy with kind of the current format and how information is presented and how kind of the audience can engage with all these things? Would love to know your thoughts, man.
Cool. So also great to meet you, Lucas. I have like a couple different takes on this. First is I think there's a lot of excitement, or I see a reasonable amount of posts on influencers or streamers, if you will make their own markets based off of the stream or like what's happening on like within the piece of content. I'm like, honestly, I'm a little bit skeptical about how that plays out. Like I kind of want to see it because I think there's like you run into like big volume liquidity issues. And then if you want to talk about a market influencing an outcome, it's sort of like pretty dystopian. I have a friend that built this company in 2023, maybe it was called Juicer. And it was basically this is like you could open a market on like how many days until what like will speed beat the Ender Dragon on this run, like number one, and you could bet on it natively in Twitch and amongst other platforms. And it was actually really cool. It got banned by Twitch super fast and kind of shut down right away. So I don't know. I'm like sort of skeptical on how that plays out. I think for some bigger streams it works. Like I did this. If you watch my streams or follow my content, I did this tier list for crypto Twitter, like top 75. I alluded to it in like the Polymarket announcement video that I made. And I think some of these like bigger planned out streams like that would have worked. That would have gotten some volume and been applicable to bet on. I think on the other side is I'm excited about some of the quicker, faster paced markets where as in crypto, right? If we're like trading a coin or I have a guest on, a founder on with the token, there's like live price action. Oftentimes you could get to a result like very quick. We were talking about this yesterday with Easy, and I see Hashcoff in the audience, who I'm a big fan of. These 15-minute crypto majors, up or down markets, are like, I'm like relatively excited about them. They're pretty electric. And on the opposite spectrum of like, okay, we'll see if Cuomo wins in like, 90 days, just place the bet, come back to it in months. These 15-minute like up down markets and some of these faster paced resolves are really golden for content. Because like I'm on stream for, I don't know, for 3 hours, and it just really like potentially can keep up the pace with how fast we're live. So that's something that I'm like, after yesterday, spending some time with trading and relatively excited about. But yeah, I don't know. On the first part, I sort of like want to see it. I want to see how it plays out. I'm interested, skeptically optimistic, I would say, on like streamers making multiple markets within each content or within each stream and getting actual volume, and people like being excited about it and feel like they're not just being manipulated and dunked on. So yeah, I don't know if that answers your question, but that's sort of how I think about these things.
No, that's amazing. Cheers.
All right. I have 2 rapid fire questions for you,
Okay,
and then
go.
we'll hop off here. So one is, you've interviewed Domer. You interviewed what? Who was the guy last week?
Peter Schiff.
Peter Schiff. Those were pretty fire. Who is your number 1 dream interview at the moment that you haven't got on yet?
Shane Copen. No, it's probably that's honestly one of them. It's probably dude, it's probably Sailor. Like, maybe it's like a cop out. I don't know. He does a lot of interviews. He's spoken a lot, but I'm like fascinated with the art of the full port, and Michael Saylor being like so obsessed with one thing. It's the only thing he wakes up, thinks about, breathes about, sleeps about, drinks about. So it's honestly probably Sailor, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah. And there is one Polymarket market about you. If you're going to appear on the Up Only podcast by the end of the year, do you want to give the chat some alpha?
Dude, honestly, I got
What do you think?
I got nothing. If I had to pick a number 2 dream guess, it's probably Kobe. He's like, if you're not familiar with some deep crypto Twitter stuff, he's like the truth amongst the crypto Twitter crowd. I honestly, bro, I got nothing. I got nothing. But so the history of Up Only real quick is Kobe is like, yeah, he's like the GOAT of crypto Twitter. He started like the most OG 2013 cycle. He started this podcast Up Only, I want to say in 2021, Mania. And he was it was a stream, it was a live stream, and he just had like the most pull. So like he had some many famous episodes. He had one episode where he had Do Kwon, who was Luna, who was on the run at the time from like the FBI, and Martin Shkreli at the same time, who you're probably familiar with Martin Shkreli, like was once there's this clip of Martin Shkreli being like, Do Kwon, like jail's not that bad, bro, you're gonna be fine. So we had all these like legendary streams. It was massive, it was the biggest, and it was like a different time in crypto where there was just these iconic like Icarus like main characters in crypto. We don't really have it as much anymore. And so it was the biggest, and then he just stopped, like cold turkey stopped. I don't exactly know why he stopped. He stopped completely, and then didn't do it, hasn't done it since, I don't know, 2023, maybe 2022. But as a joke, he listed this NFT, the Up Only NFT, for $25 million, and was like, anytime someone would be like, Kobe, bring back Up Only, he would like link the OpenSea link for the NFT. If you want me to bring it back, fucking buy the NFT. And then Coinbase bought it in tandem with Echo, his company, and they're bringing it back. So I don't know. I don't know anything on this. There's a couple people I would like to see on it. I'd like to see Shane on it. I'd like to see Hyperliquid Jaff. There's quite a few people I'd like to see on it. I'm not sure that people want to see me on it, but if I was offered, I would obviously do it in a second. So,
well, you're at 22%, so we'll see how that ends up. I think number 1 is Jeff Yan. Right,
that's like
that
my
market.
personal suggestion. Jeff, I mean, Jeff is like, what's his odds?
80%.
Damn, that's high. I think everybody wants to see Jeff.
Yeah, interesting. Anyways, thank you so much for being here with me for the hour. I know you're streaming in a couple minutes, right? So if anyone wants to ask you more questions, I guess go to your Twitch.
Yeah, W show. But Phantom, you're awesome, bro. I'm a huge fan and deeply respect what you do. And I'm excited for a little bit of a media arm here. I think it's important. I think there's a gap in the market for it. I think we fill a similar role. And I think, yeah, you crush it. I enjoyed coming on. Thanks for letting me shamelessly rant for an hour.
No, thank you. Thank you. This is very insightful. Have a good day, man, and good luck.
Sick, man. Have a good one. Appreciate everyone that popped out, asked questions, listened. Peace.